It's day 23, and Marlowe is too tired, he can hardly walk straight. Can he go home? Yes, and you can stay home tomorrow. Yes, I understand that. Jack Boyd, which is us, received a letter from the prosecutor's office regarding the formal complaint. Please be informed that we're calling in 2 of the employees who initiated the complaint against you for official interviews. Date of interrogation, August the 8th. And our snitch is telling us that it is Cecil and Yancey, but I don't know what I can do about that. I could technically have them killed, couldn't I? Yeah, I could do that, but how expensive is that? Investigation crime trap, that's a price of $1,000. We can kill 2 cops. But are we sure that we're getting the right intel here? We may want to hold off with that. We now have a cool attempt at murder in the suburbs. We can try and send them out. If we don't have them on duty now, so we can't send them out. But we have a girl shouted over the phone that her grandmother has been killed at her home. Whereas it only listed as attempt at murder, not murder, because it's an... Anyway, let's get Hugh Grant and Beardsale out there, along with Jane Austen. We also got an update from our snitch. I'm pretty sure your staff is preparing to plot against you. So the prosecutor's complaint is probably going to be bad for me. I may have to seriously consider doing some sort of slightly more drastic measure. We also have a fight at the city centre. A few drunks were playing darts and one of them got one in the shoulder. A fight broke out which was quickly joined by other patrons of the bar. We can send quite a few officers and we're going to send, well, pretty much everyone because there's a bar fight going on. Dispatch the paddy wagon, off they go, on blues and twos to the crime. The officers arrived by the attempt at murder in the suburbs. The road to the house is strewn with corpses of drowned dogs. The lights inside the house are on, but the door is locked. Call through the door, enter through the window, and find another way in. We should probably try and call through. A bleeding elderly woman is lying on the floor in the living room. Check the backyard, search the second floor, and check whether the woman is okay. Ooh, now it's interesting. I'll leave that one because really that is pretty much a lower priority. We need to make sure that there's nobody in the house that could kill us. Always a most important thing for police. So I don't know about the backyard. Surely we would have checked that before we made entry, but it's a video game, so we can't really determine that. We just have to go with what we have. So I'm going to go with search the second floor. And we didn't lose anyone, officers unharmed. I doubt civilians weren't harmed here. I'm just really not sure about that one. She was lying in a pool of blood, if I remember correctly, and that's usually not an indication that they're doing fine. Officers also completed their fight in progress. We caught offenders. Officers were unharmed. We also have a homicide, although I shouldn't say that, Chipper, should I? Anyway, Fiona Kaylis was found in her apartment with her head caved in. A meat tenderising hammer was found next to the woman's body. Probably a good indication there. Let's get Motor on the case. We don't have anyone else available. What do we have going on with investigations? We have 1, 2. Is she actually working? Let's see detectives out here. She is working, but everyone else is at home, so we can't do much. This one over here, the robbery, is probably not even working today. I'm just leave that then. Sand needs our help. The family bank just called in a report of a strange man in a leather jacket with fake documents trying to empty one of our accounts. Obviously, it's one of Varga's agents, but such a stupid move. We don't want to get our hands dirty with this. Just lock him away in a filthy cell. Let's get Can on it. Oh dear, look at the investigation on this. It is quite big, and one person probably won't crack the case, but we don't have any available assignments, so we just have to wait until we can hire more, or more people come back to work, or whatever. We also have a suspicious individual call at the Touch of Dionys liquor store. A cashier just called in her voice in a whisper. 2 suspicious black men have entered the store. They spent a few minutes browsing the rack with expensive whiskey and now they're whispering to each other and looking back at me. It looks like they're planning on robbing the store. We'll get Hugh Grant and we'll get Mojo and Birch on the case. Off they go on siren mode. And we have another homicide, but we have to clear people off investigations now because we have, what do we have out here? Let's see, we got, oh shit. Okay, we have an issue here. They're at home resting up. Beasley's working, but he's just on to the robbery here. What do we have on the robbery then? Let's see, details. So we have these down here. What do we have over here with the other theft details? We have another 3 frames, but we don't have enough to make any kind of prosecution here. We'll get rid of this guy out here, details. Oh shit, we can't actually clear the lead investigator, can we? Let's go ahead and see detectives. No, I can't clear him unless I archive the case. This is actually interesting. I've given it a bit of thought. A homicide clearly is more important than a robbery. So let's go ahead and archive this robbery call, which frees up one of our investigators out here, Beasley. He can take the lead on another homicide. Clearly, I mean, that's a homicide. It's more important than a robbery, so I'm fine with that. We can always reopen the other case if we clear it. The suspicious individual at the liquor store turned out to be a false alarm, or rather unfounded. The men were unarmed and just doing a little shopping. They were picking out an expensive bottle of whiskey as a gift for their grandfather on his anniversary. Anniversary of what? Being alive? Having murdered several prostitutes? I don't know. Our investigation has also started on the homicide, but we have no frames to update, so we'll leave that for later. A passerby witnessed 3 people trying to break into an ATM at the riverbank. A pickup truck was parked nearby, its engine still on, with another man behind the wheel. Looks like they're trying to grab the ATM and carry it away in the truck. Okay, let's get Austin Powers, Jane Austen, and Kane on the case. Off they go. The theft at the riverbank has been stepped up to a higher priority call. We'll get Bill Bailey, Samadhi, and Hugh Grant to back them up. We can also deal with another call from the Sands. We'll get Birch and Mojo onto a call regarding some punks that are throwing Molotov cocktails into the office building where we make book. Eyewitnesses say the idiots keep throwing bottle after bottle even though the building is already falling apart. They're probably still somewhere nearby. The riverbank theft is code 4 and all offenders were caught. Officers were unharmed. No civilians were in the harm's way, so we can't really get anything on that. And we cleared the call from Sand, so we should pretty much be good to go. And that was day 23, and the Sands are taking a big lead now. That is very good for us. We are backing them for victory. Moreover, do we need anyone to stay in tomorrow? Well, we could get Bill Bailey to work. And do we have any? We've got Khan here. He can stay in. Meanwhile, none of these actually know. I'll leave them. Oh, well, I can actually get Beasley. Although he'll get quite low. Well, let's do it anyway. Let's end the day. Today has quite an important choice for us, or me at least, because I have to decide what we do with our possible complainants. We can either have Cecil and Yonsei killed, I believe they were the ones involved, by the mafia, and they'll take care of it, and presumably that'll go away because they won't have time to interview them, and it's fairly cheap. It's about it's about $1,000 for one hit, so we may have to actually play that one. Before we do anything, however, we have a message from City Hall. At a recent regional conference, which was attended by people from our administration, we learned that the governor wishes to lower the average age of public servants by at least 5 years. The city will most likely be subject to an upcoming review. Please dismiss all senior staff at the police station as quickly as possible. So that will give us favour with the city if we do that. But who do we have that's actually old? We don't really have anyone on A shift. They're all fun. But what about Kojo? Info. Yeah, none of that. But on B shift, we have at least 1 or 2, don't we? Well, we have... Or do we? What about De Brito? What happens if we fire him? He's... Okay, he's 2, but he's very cool. I can't fire any of my investigators, depending on who has this available, obviously. Birch is very old. And we have... What do we have? We don't have anyone available for hire. We have a detective out here, but he's pretty shit. Anyway, let's look at the formal complaint. So the hearing is on tomorrow, day 25, the 8th of August. And the snitch claims that it is Cecil and Yonsei that is pretty much the source of the complaint. So let's go ahead and be a bit of a bitch and actually have this happen. Fuck! Okay. Shit. I didn't know it was a day in advance. It would have been nice if it told me that, because I'd have done that yesterday. Now I had to ask him to stay in, and hopefully it'll just happen tomorrow at 10 before they go in and do the hearing. Hopefully it's not by morning. What can we actually see about the backlog? Does it say when they do the hearing? No, just the date. So hopefully they'll be available. We have an assault in the ghetto. A woman attacked her lover with a hammer after he told her he'd been cheating on her. The police call came from the woman's daughter. Mom's really lost it and I'm afraid she'll kill him, stammered the girl through her tears. I'm sending Cecil and Yonti. They'll be our motley crew for today. I'll just send them out to everything I can possibly get them out to that might get them killed because I want them out of the way. And if they can just get killed over there without me having to do anything, then that would be far easier for me. I'll certainly have my hands clean. I wouldn't if I send them out to a hit. That could possibly be traced back to me. We now have a disorderly conduct at the park. Corey Ramsey saw a group of women in the park wearing ski masks, leading two scantily clad women with leather. I'm trying for the top because the phrase leather leashes was difficult to say. Let's try now. Corey Ramsey saw a group of women in the park wearing ski masks, leading two scantily clad women with leather leashes. Yes, I got it right. Shouting offensive slogans about the superiority of the female sex. Judging by their unintelligible cries, the offenders seem to be preparing for a sacrifice. We will get Asano and Bill Bailey, and we can get Mata and Paddy Wagon out there. That's, a thing they can go to with. They're all women, so they will understand. Oh, we lost one! Yes! We lost one of them! I know I shouldn't be happy that one of our officers died, but it's literally one of the people that are going to testify against us, so I have no issue with it. Hopefully we can get Cecil killed as well, all being fine and lovely, because I don't think that will be in time, our little assassination attempt. The disorderly conduct was code Ford, officer caught. No, offender was called, officers were unharmed, and civilians were unharmed. I just remember that we have 3 investigations going on, so I'll have to try and assign these. Let's go in out here. He'll actually be working, won't he? Yeah, Beasley's staying in, so we'll get every investigator, not Marlowe. We'll get Bowling, Turner, Williams, and Haar on the case. We may actually want to clear a couple of these away. Let's get 3 on this. They're kind of low. And we get another one on the homicide, even though the lead detective isn't working. DeBrito, Bowling, and Turner. So good with that. And close that, and they'll just do whatever. This is a call for another officer needed for some sort of thing, but we won't send anyone. We received reports of a theft at Debbie's Special Cafe. Someone stole a golden retriever belonging to Eddie Goldberg, owner of Eddie's Burgers, while the dog was playing in his backyard. Later that day, regulars of the burger joint said that they saw the dog muscled and led around by 2 junkies near Debbie's Cafe. Well, that sounds like something Cecil can investigate on his own. Because I don't like him, he can go die in a fire. Christopher Sand needs our help at the ranch. Somehow a whole army of punks have seized a position on one of the fields at the ranch. Obviously we're going to drive them off by force. We've already got some men together, but some extra help couldn't hurt. Damn it, we don't have little Cecil there. Let's get Massa, Khan and Tony Robbins. Off they go. Theft at Debbie's Cafe. The kitchen at Debbie's Cafe is hopping busy. Debbie is making sausages for her new brand of hot dogs. When she notices the police, she quickly dumps a dog collar in the trash. Shout to all the cafe's customers that the hot dogs are made from actual dogs. Check the reefer, or ask about the collar and ask Debbie about her relationship with Eddie Goldberg. Let's try and be more... Oh, he wasn't killed. I wanted him to die. Please don't tell me any of those coppers die. That really pissed me off proper if that happened. I even let him rest up fully, didn't I? What an absolute arsehole. While Cecil drove back to the station, we received reports of reckless endangerment at the VA house. An elderly veteran is dragging around a bag filled with captured weapons, all loaded with live ammunition. He says he's going to demonstrate battlefield-like conditions. Well, that's something Cecil can go deal with. Off you go, buddy. I love you very much. I trust you. You are our best police officer, so I trust you to deal with that goal. Apparently, some punks are hiding out at another abandoned construction site. The local homeless folks normally ice over when we start asking questions. Maybe they'll be more willing to talk to the police. We'll get Jeremy Clarkson on the case. Oh, bother, he actually dealt with that. He's too good. Loot found, no, yes, sell it. We need all the money we can get now. We may have to get them some people punched in the face. Oh, frames from the report. Let's open up and have a look here. Do we have enough to proceed? Let's read all our clues. Someone banged on the door and my mother told me to hide under the bed and close my eyes and ears and be as quiet as a mouse. I only heard muffled screams. When I got out from under the bed, I found my mother in the blood and I called the police. The medical examiner tells us that the fatal blow was struck by a blunt force object to the head. The killer was standing behind the victim. Death was immediate and the body shows no other signs of violence. Mr. Orgy, now Mrs. Orgy says that I heard Fiona swearing with her brother. He'd come round again begging for money at her doorstep. Then she started yelling at her son. He always sits there in front of the TV playing these stupid games until he turns blue. And then my phone rang and I talked with my friend for an hour and a half. The first responding officer says the door to the apartment was open when I first came in. The boy was sitting in front of the TV playing some game on the console. He didn't even turn in my direction. I think he was just in shock. His mother was lying dead right there in front of him. And Mr. Aaron Duray says, the victim's brother, yes, I went to my sister to borrow some money. I lost my job and the bills were piling up. I expected her to help like I've helped her in the past, but she refused. But I didn't kill her. We had a fight and I yelled at each other and then I went home. I watched a movie I rented and went to bed. Somewhere near what he said. So we've got a person with a knife. So, okay, boomby. There's a struggle there. And then he's doing what? And then she's... None of this is matching up with what we have been told, does it? Because that's at the front. That's... No, he's... No, okay, yeah, we'll leave that one. Our other homicide investigation also have new frames. Michael Hall, a security guard, told us, I saw a black sedan pull up to the building and two men, one in a raincoat, got out. They passed me without saying anything. Do we have any of that? We got that there. Yeah, that kind of works. Either that guy over here, we can bring it up. Yeah, either that bloke's a priest or he's wearing a raincoat. I'm going for the latter. Irene Bronk, secretary, told us, I heard the elevator and I turned and saw two scary men. I didn't see any weapons, but they made it clear they'd kill me if I got in their way. Mr. Fritter, chief financial officer, it could have been a robbery. Elvis had a safe in his office. I don't know what he kept inside of it. I caught out by the word Elvis. I probably missed something in that regard. Steve Gaines Clean told us, yes, I saw a couple of idiots, but I don't remember what time it was. I actually learned about the incident only later. And Mrs. Calvo said, Elvis had his share of problems, but he preferred not to talk about them. But I knew there were some people trying to take away his business, and he was offering them a bribe. So we can go in here, they're walking in. I mean, clearly these two don't really match up, do they? Because he's wearing that, and whereas he's wearing a red coat. So they were probably there, and then they went up in the elevator. But do we probably need to move this over then? Move that. Yeah, move. No, that's wrong ordered. Pop that, pop that. Pop that, and then... Oh, we got two frames. We need another frame, so we don't have enough for that either. Oh, well. And that's the end of day 24. Sands are at 23. Vargas is on 13. We are still pulling ahead slightly. I need to do some paperwork for this. Yeah, but we need to hire more coppers, so do that. And Cecil, order to work tomorrow because you might die a bit. I should have asked. No, investigators, leave them as they are. Leave them be. Oh, shit, Cecil didn't come into work today. So he will be able to testify, but the other one can't because he's dead. That is a bad thing for us. We may have to take some more drastic action out here. We also... Oh, Christ, we need to fire them now. Okay, let's look at what we have on the labour market. Well, we have two coppers. Shit. Okay, what do we do? I mean, he's old. Ooh, do we have... No, Birch Jr. Was he killed? Or is he still working for us? Or did he quit? Oh, I don't remember. No, we will leave that. We'll leave that. We can't deal with that one. Labour market, we have an open slot. We can hire in Beverly Best for B shift because that's where we lost someone. Close it down. And what about over here? Yeah, request everything and send that off, please. Thank you. We have a fight at Kevin's Throat Bar. A bar fight broke out after the bartender refused to serve two particularly drunk men. We will send Hugh Grant, Jane Austen, and Austin Powers. They'll probably have to deal with it themselves. It's fine. Either they can deal with it or they'll call for backup. They're pretty seasoned officers, all three. We also have a request from Sand. They found the apartment of one of the leaders of Vargas punks we're going to end this thing ourselves, but there's bound to be some gunplay. It would be good if the police took charge of this situation once the dust settles. So let's get Birch. Do we have any older chaps in here? No, we don't. We got Vandal. We can send Kojo then. Off they go. And we have to keep in mind that here at 10 a.m. we will get a call that we're not going to attend. Yeah, crime trap. Well, thankfully they wrote it out. We also have an update from Kevin Throatpaw. 2 large angry men are fighting in the corner of the bar. Watch and wait until they expire themselves. Try to separate them or use a taser on them. Let's use a taser. Just the easiest choice, really. The crime trap. Something suspicious is going on near the forest. Yeah, that's the thing we paid for. Thankfully it was pretty cheap. So we can just let it tick out because none of these coppers deserve to die. At least not yet. Can we actually do it again? Yeah, we can do it again. But we can't do that yet. We have a feast from Chef Mastriani. Mr. Boyd, my catering company, was preparing the 20th anniversary banquet for the Gallery of Modern Art, but the celebration was cancelled at the last moment. It would be unfortunate if such mountain would go to waste. I'm willing to offer it for you and your men for a modest fee. Don't you think your employees would love these delicious dishes? Yes, they would. I'm going to give them something here so they'll work for me. We also have a suicide threat at St. John's Cathedral. A young man climbed to the top of the cathedral and is threatening to jump. A crowd of onlookers has gathered under the cathedral. Some of them recognise the man and they say they're sure he won't jump. He's just had some bad acid and wants some attention. I don't know about that, but we get Bill Bailey and... As I was saying before I yawned, we'll send Bill Bailey and Vandal out to deal with it. And now we have a robbery at the Octopus Restaurant. A young woman attempted to leave the Octopus Restaurant without paying. The waitress tried to stop her, but the girl punched her in the head and knocked her unconscious. Okay, I'd like to point out here that I read that correctly, but I was really caught out by what it said. I'll try the whole sentence again. The waitress tried to help her, but the girl punched her in the head and knocked her unconsciousness. What? A guard tried to step in, but the girl disabled him with pepper spray. She then knocked herself in the bathroom where she can be heard beating something and shouting curses. Okay, that was just either it's me or the whole sentence structuring in this is just wrong. But I don't know. We'll send out Grant and Kochi. This wasn't the first time that teenager Gordon Booker has drawn the attention of the police with such a performance. He was never really planning on jumping. So it was not a false alarm, it was an unfounded alarm, or rather, not really an unfounded because he was up there and yeah, it's kind of a mess with that one. Certainly there was something to it, it just wasn't false. Our robbery report came in, offender caught, officers unharmed, very good indeed for us, and our officers, none of those were the ones we wanted dead, so they all get to live. And now Chris G. Sand needs our help. Because some of our men just ran into a bunch of punks on the street. We don't know if they are Vargas people, but it would sure be a good couple of uniforms in scene just in case things go south. Well, let's get these 2 couples out to Fleet Street. We have a noise complaint in the suburbs. Robert Wilson called to complain that his family can't get any sleep on account of the noisy neighbours. He says strange people are always coming and going and they take deliveries at all hours. Mr. Wilson has tolerated it for a long time and done nothing about it, but his son snuck out before bedtime and peeked through the neighbour's window. They swear they saw boxes of machine guns. Kids have such imaginations, they can come up with anything, but it might be best if you send over an officer. Yeah, probably is. Let's get Austin Powers. Our complaint has been completed? I don't know, but it certainly says that we've been found guilty of abusing your powers. The city requires that your salary be reduced by 50%. It doesn't tell me what this pertains to. It's kind of useless to do this because I don't know why it does it. I should have just had him killed. The situation at the noise complaint is more serious than we thought. They are requesting more reinforcements. So we'll go out and basically give them everything we can send out here. Just all of those. Off they go. We have a whole host of things lined up. I had to go get a glass of water. No new frames found here, mostly because I don't think anyone's actually working it. We also have here no new frames found. And over here we've got 3 new frames. We might actually have enough to deal with this. A noise complaint out here. All people are good and fine. We found automatic weapons. Let's ask a mafia to sell it, seeing as we won't earn any money. Let's end the day here. And we are still in the lead, quite dramatically. Vargas has stayed at 13, we are up to 25.